using a legal agent in order to end their lives. As an LGBTQ plus individual, the experience of triple marginalization from both the Black community and within LGBTQ spaces makes a place where there is no home. Because in queer spaces, I can't be Black. And in Black spaces, I cannot be queer, leading to isolation and depression, and one of the highest rates of completed suicides or higher lethality of suicide that we are watching. Not to get political, but that information will soon not be available to us if we don't advocate. And then socioeconomic. If you are so busy that you are working to make sure that your bills are paid, you surely might not be as mindful of the children who might be experiencing depression, anxiety, or some of the early signs of some of the more severe and persistent mental illness, which means interventions are delayed. And that's just the surface. This is just the easy parts, that our lived experience may impact, no, will impact the way that we seek support and get the support that we are so worthy of. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Sarah.
Well, most people can't spell my name, so I'll take a new one. And we have a very beautiful Sarah up here, so I don't wanna steal her light, right? Thank you for everything that you said, and I do think that in addition, it is really important for us to recognize that the systemic inequalities and intersecting identities and the issues that come with that. There's another identity, right, around our age, right, and our generation. And we are very caught up in generational labels, right, to the point where that has become its own identity. I'm Gen Z, so therefore I do this. I'm Gen Alpha, so I must be that. You're Gen X, so this and that and the other, right? And let's not talk about the boomers. Right? So we also create identities by virtue of how we understand the world, and then we create problems that go along with those identities, right? We start to put labels on people where they don't need to be labeled, right? And then you can't handle that label. The suicide rates that we're seeing in young teens, it is growing astronomically, right? People will say, oh, well, it's social media, or it's their cell phones, or no, it's that there are people who are so disconnected from other people. People that don't know how to talk to other people. People who are scared of being around other people, right? Because what happens if I say the wrong thing, or I'm not wearing the right thing, right? Whose camera is going to be in my face, and where is that going to be posted? So we also have to be mindful that we can't co-create issues in our society, right? There are already enough problems. We don't need to create new ones. So we need to be thinking about what are the identities that matter to us because they represent a value system for us. Some of those identities are going to impact the way that we interact with other people, right? My gender identity or my sexual orientation, those things are going to matter because that is going to determine who I seek out as a partner, right? Who I feel comfortable with. But that's not something to be vilified and pathologized, right? People are born the way that they are. And I'm gonna say that again, people are born the way that they are.
Yeah.
Right? That is not a pathology. The pathology is how the rest of the world interacts with and receives them for being who they are.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Next question will be, how can mental health conversations be more inclusive of diverse Black experiences?
Okay, I'll get us started with that. First, I would say education and awareness, and it should start in the family, especially in the Black family. I don't know how many of you growing up, that was a normal conversation in your house. I never had a conversation about mental health. So probably 16 years old, when I was 16 years old, that's the first time. I've seen people labeled as crazy and people in the streets, and they said they were doing drugs, but in our home, that was not a concern. And the first time I heard about it was my younger brother was really, he just was kind of sick. And the doctors, the family doctor couldn't figure out what was going on, and he got referred to the psychologist. And it came back that he was depressed. I'm like, what's that? So we had a conversation because it did happen in the family. So I would say the first step is normalize conversations. And sometimes you might not even see it coming. An example is one of my kids, my daughter is a straight A student, really brilliant student. And I was shocked when at a routine physical, she disclosed to her doctor that I got kicked out of the room as usual. If you're a parent, you know that. She disclosed she has anxiety over her grades. And to me, it's like, why? You've never had a B. You're a straight A student. But she was putting so much pressure on herself. I don't want a B. What if I have a B? And stuff like that. So you have to step back, have that conversation in your family. Another milieu where we should normalize those conversations among your friends, in the barber shop, at the hair shop, at church, in churches. I do love to hop around churches, religious places, just because I want to hear. I've heard great preachers. I've heard preachers who say if you have anxiety or stress, then your faith is not strong enough. That's not true. My life coaching and mentorship work that I do, I incorporate faith in it a lot. It's a whole being, from personal experience, observed experience, studied experiences, and my faith. I specialize in anxiety work, and one of the most people I've coached would tell you that I love to refer to the phrase "fear not," or a version of that. It appears 365 times in the Bible. And to me personally, that's God telling me every day, fear not, I'm with you. What I have it on my mirror, in the bathroom, on my vanity mirror, and I see that phrase like at least 4 or 5 times posted on different corners in my room. And that's a reassurance every day when I wake up, I'm doing my makeup, fear not. So you have to figure out your own mantra. And another way to normalize those conversations in the Black community would be doing what we're doing right here. Do community events, invite people. As much as we're focusing on Black community, this is a conversation for everyone. So please, if you don't identify as Black community, this is a conversation for everyone. Like I said, everybody got a .003 somewhere.